the first $100,000 is a bitch. Charlie Munger, the sharp-witted investor from Berkshire Hathaway, famously said, "Let's be real, Munger's not sugarcoating it. For most folks, scratching and clawing your way to the first 100K in savings or investments is like running a marathon uphill. But once you reach that peak, suddenly the journey to a cool million feels like a downhill sprint. So, what's the deal with this first leg of the money marathon being so brutal, and how does it get easier?" Let's cruise through this with a few nuggets of wisdom from Munger and Buffett. Imagine you're at the starting line with little more than pocket change and big dreams. That's where most of us start, especially in those early career days when your paycheck is more like a snack than a feast. Saving up a significant stash from this point? It's a grind, no two ways about it. Warren Buffett, the king of investing, often talks about boosting your earning power. But let's face it, when you're a rookie in the work world, you're not exactly making it rain. This means your journey to 100K is more of a slow crawl than a jet ride. Every little bill and expense feels like a roadblock when you're gunning for that first 100K. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with a leaky bucket. Your savings and investments are so tiny that even small expenses can put a dent in them. Compound interest is this magical thing that Buffett is always jazzed about. But here's the catch. In the beginning, when your pile of cash is more of a molehill than a mountain, compound interest is like a sleepy cat. It's there, but it's not doing much. Munger knows this part of the journey is a tough slog. But hey, once you've wrestled your way to saving that first 100K, the clouds part and the sun starts shining. Here's why. That's when compound interest wakes up and starts flexing. With 100K in your back pocket, your money begins to grow like a beanstalk, faster and faster. As you climb the career ladder, your wallet gets thicker. More money in means more money to save and invest. Suddenly, that million-dollar dream starts looking more like a plan and less like a fantasy. Having a bigger stash to play with in the investment game means cooler perks. Think lower costs for each investment and more options. It's like leveling up in a video game. With a nice cushion of savings, you can start playing the investment game a bit more boldly. Buffett shows us that smart risk-taking is where the big wins are. Compound interest is the world's eighth power, Warren Buffett once quipped, but let's be honest, it's a bit of a slow starter. When you're just kicking off your investment adventure, your pile of cash is more of a cash molehill, and compound interest is napping rather than working its magic. Charlie Munger nails it when he says getting that initial stack of cash is the real tough part. Now, let's talk about the head game. Switching gears from splurging to saving and investing is like swapping out your daily espresso for decaf. It's a jolt to the system. It's all about discipline and tweaking your lifestyle, which, let's face it, can feel like a bummer at first. Diving into the investing world can feel like jumping into the deep end when you're still learning to swim. Buffett's all for learning as you go, but when you're a newbie, there's a risk of belly flops, costly mistakes that can slow your roll to that first 100K. But hang tight, because once you hit that sweet 100K mark, it's like compound interest finally wakes up and chugs an energy drink. Suddenly, your money starts to multiply quicker, and you begin to see why Munger says this is where the wealth journey really picks up speed. As you climb up the career ladder and start to see more zeros in your paycheck, the savings game gets a whole lot easier. That dream of reaching $1 million starts to look more doable, less like a pipe dream. With a decent chunk of change in the bank, those pesky bills and unexpected expenses start to feel like small fries. You've got a financial cushion now, so you can funnel more of your hard-earned cash into growing your wealth. Here's where Buffett's wisdom on smart investing comes into play. With the 100K in your pocket, you're in a better spot to make savvy investment choices. It's like leveling up in a game. Suddenly, you've got better tools and smarter strategies at your disposal. And let's not forget about taking risks, the good kind. With a solid financial safety net, you can afford to be a bit bold with your investments, like Buffett himself. Smart risk can lead to big rewards, and who doesn't like the sound of that? When your investment portfolio starts to beef up, you get to enjoy the perks of big league investing, lower cost per investment, and more options on where to put your money. It's like upgrading from economy to first class. That first 100,000 you saved? It's not just a number, it's the cornerstone of your growing wealth. Once you've got that foundation, every additional dollar you save or invest helps your wealth grow faster. It's like you've hit the wealth accelerator and the road to $1 million suddenly feels a whole lot smoother. Now, following Munger's no-nonsense advice about living within your means might mean cutting back on some luxuries. Think of it as swapping a steak dinner for a homemade burger. It's still good, just a bit more budget-friendly. Buffett is a big fan of the long game in investing. It's about stashing away cash consistently, even if it's just a little at a time. Over time, those small amounts add up to big bucks. Don't just lean on your 9-to-5 job for cash. Get creative with side hustles or passive income streams. It's like having a secret weapon in the savings battle. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, the dynamic duo of the financial world, always hammer home one key point: know your stuff. Diving into the world of personal finance and investment strategies without a clue is like trying to bake a gourmet cake without a recipe. Sure, you might end up with something edible, but wouldn't it be better if you knew exactly what you were doing? Buffett, the investment wizard himself, isn't about those knee-jerk reactions to the market's mood swings. He's all about playing the long game, like planning a cross-country road trip rather than a quick sprint to the corner store. His philosophy? Focus on where you want to be way down the road, not just where you are at today. It's about having a vision, like a captain steering a ship through choppy waters, keeping your eyes on the horizon. And let's talk about high-interest debt for a second. This stuff can be a real party pooper on your wealth-building bash. It's like having a backpack full of rocks when you're trying to sprint. Tossing those rocks out or, paying off those high-interest debts means you can run towards your financial goals without something dragging you down. So earning your first 100,000? Yeah, it's a bit like scaling a financial Everest, but once you've planted your flag on that summit, the trek to $1 million doesn't seem quite so steep. This is where Buffett and Munger's wisdom comes in clutch. They're not just about hoarding cash under the mattress, they're about growing it, nurturing it like a gardener with a green thumb. Alright folks, let's talk about turning that 100K into a whopping $1 million with a twist of fun and a sprinkle of wisdom from our financial Yodas, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. Unleash the magic of compound interest. Charlie Munger wasn't mincing words when he called the first 100,000 a beast of a challenge. But here's the cool part: once you get past that beast, compound interest swoops in like a superhero. Imagine your $100,000 is a snowball. As it rolls down the hill of time, it doesn't just grow, it balloons. It's like every dollar pulls up a chair and invites a few more friends to the party. And before you know it, you've got a whole crowd of cash hanging out in your account. Buffett's all starry-eyed about it, calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. It's like your money decides to get a job and starts earning its keep. Crank up the cash flow. When you're just starting out, it might feel like your wallet's on a diet. But hey, no worries, it's time to get creative and flex those skills. Are you a tech whiz or a social media guru? Use that to your advantage. Buffett's a big believer in not putting all your eggs in one basket, or in this case, not counting on just one paycheck. So whether it's launching your own online empire, freelancing on the side, or jumping into the startup pool, there's a gazillion ways to beef up your bank balance. Invest like a boss. Let's be real, tossing your hard-earned cash into the stock market willy-nilly is about as effective as throwing darts blindfolded. You need a game plan. That's where smart, strategic investing comes in. Think of it like building a dream team of investments. Some stocks here, a bit of real estate there, maybe some bonds for good measure. And hey, why not toss in an S&P 500 index fund for that steady, reliable player? Buffett's mantra is all about diversification, spreading out your bets so you're not crying over spilled milk if one investment goes sour. It's like having a backup band that keeps playing even if the lead singer forgets the words. Surf the tech wave. The online world is like a treasure chest, and guess what? You've got the map. Dive into online trading, shuffle your investments around like a pro with cool apps, or find gigs that let you earn cash in your pajamas. It's all about using tech to make your money work as hard as you do. Think of the growth method as your personal game plan for stashing that cash. Gee, Gain control of your finances. Budgeting is key. Know where every dollar is going. R. Root your investments in solid, reliable assets. O. Optimize your tax. Legally minimizing your tax liability can save you a lot of money. W. Weed out high-interest debts. They eat into your potential savings. T. Tap into additional income sources. Side hustles can significantly boost your income. H. Heighten self-discipline. Stick to your financial plan and goals. Plant your money tree early. Start saving and investing ASAP. Like Buffett says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. The earlier you start, the sooner you'll be chilling in the shade of a money tree. Keep your eyes on the horizon. Don't get all jittery with every market dip or dive. Think like a captain of a ship, steady and forward-looking. Buffett's all about holding onto investments for the long haul. Keep your focus on the treasure map, not the waves. Spend smart, not less. Living below your means doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It's about making smart choices. Skip the gold-plated toothbrush and save for something that will really make you smile down the line. Sometimes you gotta tighten the belt to fill the treasure chest. Knowledge is power. Buffett and Munger are like the wise old owls of finance. Follow their lead and keep learning. The more you know about money, markets, and making smart moves, the better your adventure will be. Make the tax code your bestie. Taxes can take a big bite out of your treasure, but guess what? There are legal ways to keep more of your gold. Dive into tax code, explore tax-friendly investments, and watch your wealth grow. There you go, mate. With these fun and savvy strategies, you're not just saving money, you're setting sail on an epic adventure to wealth. So grab your financial compass and let's hit the high seas.